Right now, new Democratic leaders are moving to charge President Trump with abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. And as colder temperatures set in, we're looking into when Lake Mendota could freeze over and how that date has changed over the years.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Ryder filling in for Mark Kane, who's on vacation this week. House Democrats unveiled 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump this morning, but the president insists he's done nothing wrong. Natalie Brand has the latest from Capitol Hill.
To take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Democratic chairs investigating the president announced 2 articles of impeachment. The first, abuse of power, stems from their argument President Trump pressured Ukraine to announce an investigation into political rival Joe Biden.
That is exactly what President Trump did when he solicited and pressured Ukraine to interfere in our 2020 presidential election.
The second charge against the president is obstruction of Congress for blocking White House officials from testifying, as well as access to documents.
If allowed to stand, it would decimate Congress's ability to conduct oversight of this president or any other in the future.
The articles of impeachment against the president are narrow in scope, in part to garner support from more moderate Democrats. There's no mention of bribery, extortion, or obstruction of justice.
President Trump once again tweeted witch hunt and insisted he did not pressure Ukraine. House Republicans denounced the impeachment process as predetermined and partisan.
They wanted to overturn the results of the 2016 election, and so they were committed to impeaching him, regardless of the facts. That's been going on from day one.
The Judiciary Committee is expected to debate its 2 articles of impeachment later this week, with a full House vote expected next week. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Speaker Pelosi says she won't pressure any of her members to vote to impeach, letting the lawmakers vote their conscience. Another alert day for southern Wisconsin. Let's get an update from meteorologist Chris Reese. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Josh, that is very true, and this time it is due to the colder temperatures that we've seen. We are now seeing more sunshine, though. It's a much more beautiful afternoon as opposed to the clouds and the snow that we did see earlier on this morning. 15 is our temperature right now. Those winds coming out of the west and northwest at about 8 miles per hour. 19 in Janesville, 15 in Lone Rock, 16 for Mineral Point, Monroe, and Boscobel. Folks, we are staying chilly as we go throughout the day. The wind chill right now 4 degrees, and it gets even chillier as we go into tonight and tomorrow morning. Looking ahead, look for those temperatures to warm up another degree or 2 before they begin to drop. We're focusing on some milder air that we'll see as we get you towards the weekend, and then another chance of light snow as well. That forecast will be coming up in just a few minutes.
Yeah, that wind is a little crazy out there this morning.
Oh, yes. I started to hear it last night, so I know what you mean.
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, the winter chill in the air means it's time to start guessing when Lake Mendota will freeze over. The Clean Lakes Alliance has a contest, and you could win $1,000 if you guess correctly. If you'd like to enter, we have instructions on how to do so on Channel3000.com. On average, the lake freezes on December 20th. Last year, the lake froze briefly in December, then thawed and officially froze over on one of the latest days on record, January 10th. UW limnologists believe climate change is playing a role. A man has been charged in Dane County Court for trying to have his probation officer killed. 41-year-old Christopher Dolajek is charged with solicitation of first-degree homicide. According to a criminal complaint, he's accused of offering another inmate $1,000 to kill his corrections agent who was trying to put him in a drug treatment facility. The inmate agreed to wear a wire and recorded Dolajek talking about how he'd get the money to pay for the murder. Right now, the CDC and FDA are investigating a multi-state E. coli outbreak thought to be caused by a particular brand of pre-made salad kits. Officials believe the likely source of the outbreak is the Fresh Express Sunflower Crisp Chopped Salad Kit. The CDC says 8 people from Wisconsin, Minnesota, and North Dakota have been infected. The Bucks now have 15 wins in a row after beating the Orlando Magic 110-101 last night. The Greek Freak had 32 points and 15 rebounds, and Chris Middleton added 20 points, but it was a close game. The Bucks had a rough start for their first 2 shots of the game. Blocked, Giannis says sometimes it's good to have close games rather than winning by 20 or 30 because you learn from them. At 21-3, the Bucks are now tied with the Los Angeles Lakers for the NBA's best record. The New England Patriots are facing new allegations of cheating after one of the team's camera crew was caught recording an opponent's sideline during a game. At the Browns vs. Bengals game this weekend, a Bengals official reported he saw a Patriots employee in the press box inappropriately filming the sidelines and notified the NFL.
I'm aware that there was an incident, but I know the league is investigating it, so I've got no comment.
The Patriots say they were filming for an upcoming episode of their behind-the-scenes web series, Do Your Job, following a Patriots scout at the game. In a statement, the team says they got the Browns' permission to shoot, but not the Bengals or NFL's. Coach Bill Belichick denied any knowledge of it. New at noon, House Democrats have reached a deal with the White House on the trade agreement with Canada and Mexico. They made the announcement moments after unveiling 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump. The trade agreement is a revamp of NAFTA and a fulfillment of one of the president's key campaign promises. Democrats have been negotiating with the Trump administration for months. Speaker Nancy Pelosi praised them for securing stronger labor, pharmaceutical, environmental, and enforcement provisions. A suburban Milwaukee school board has voted to drop the high school's Indians mascot. The Menominee Falls School Board voted 5-2 last night to retire the nickname that some considered racist. A committee comprised mainly of students will come up with the new mascot and nickname. Well, there's much more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, let's see what Howard's working on in Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
We're taking our everyday spaghetti and meat sauce and magically turning it into a casserole that's a hands-down winner. And the reviews on our website speak for themselves. They really do love that recipe. Today, we're taking our everyday spaghetti and meat sauce and turning it into a casserole that's over the top. And just don't take my word for it, because the comments on our website speak for themselves. So let me show you what all the hubbub is about. We start by sauteing some ground beef with a chopped onion until it's browned. While that finishes up, we toss some spaghetti with a jar of sauce. Then we add our ground beef. Meanwhile, in a skillet, we stir some flour into a bit of melted butter and let that cook for a minute or so. Now, we stir in a can of evaporated milk, and once it thickens, we add some Parmesan cheese and a little salt and pepper. All that's left to do is layer our spaghetti mixture with the cream sauce and some shredded cheddar cheese. One more layer of pasta and cheese, and into the oven it goes. Talk about lip-smacking good. And it's got everything we love about spaghetti with the bonus of lots of cheesy goodness in the form of a casserole. So don't wait another minute. Go online now and get the recipe for our layered spaghetti casserole. I know you'll be glad you did. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a highly rated way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. This is an amazing recipe.
All right, still ahead for us today at noon. Much colder out there, and that'll continue tonight when wind chills could dip below 0. Chris has your Alert Day forecast coming up next on News 3 Now at noon. Wall Street is dismissing reports of U.S.-China trade progress. And which belt-tightening New Year's resolution will you prioritize, your wallet or your waistline? Diane King Hall has today's Money Watch report.
Wall Street shrugged off multiple reports that U.S. and Chinese trade negotiators are planning to delay the next round of tariffs. A new round of duties on billions of dollars of Chinese goods is scheduled to kick in on December 15th. The biggest sticking point is the Trump administration's demand that China pledge to buy more U.S. agricultural products. More than 1,000 jobs are on the chopping block at Morgan Stanley. According to multiple reports, the powerhouse bank plans to slash roughly 1,500 jobs. The cuts will reportedly come from tech and operations and investment banking. White Castle is recalling some of its frozen burgers due to possible listeria contamination. The recall involves frozen 6-pack cheeseburgers, hamburgers, and jalapeno cheeseburgers, as well as frozen 16-pack hamburgers and cheeseburgers. The products being recalled all have Best By dates ranging from August 4th to August 17th of 2020. And a new survey by Fidelity shows that heading into 2020, people prefer belt tightening of their wallet over their waistline. According to the survey of New Year's resolutions, 84% of people would rather save $5,000 than lose 5 pounds, and more people would rather commit to a budget than an exercise plan. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
Let's take a look at Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow is down 3 points, NASDAQ up 14, and S&P 500 is up about a point. All right, let's check in with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee on this Tuesday. How's it going, Pam?
Not so bad, Josh. It feels a little bit better out there today, right now at least, than it did earlier this morning, and that should help our Wisconsin farmers kind of keep moving along. The harvest is still continuing around southern Wisconsin, really statewide for that matter, but mostly from central Wisconsin south because of the snow that remains in far northern Wisconsin. The Wisconsin Ag Statistical Service said 74% of our corn has been harvested for grain as of Sunday, but it's still about 23% moisture levels, so it's still very wet. Farmers are going to have to spend money to get it ready for storage, and then about 88% of our soybeans have already been harvested. A lot of frustration in comments from the country on this week's crop progress report, as you can imagine. Today, we also got our World Ag Supply Demand Report numbers out from USDA. Not anything really big that the market's reacting to. They are paying attention to both the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement that Josh was talking about. Sounds very good that we might actually get that done before the end of the calendar year, and less concern about the China situation, as we had pointed out. One thing I noted in the U.S. World Ag Supply Demand Report, projections for 2020 as far as dairy is concerned. They expect that milk production is going to be basically unchanged. They are also projecting that milk price for 2020 is going to go up a little bit for our farmers in Wisconsin. The Class 3 milk price, they project about $19.40 a hundredweight. Right now, we're above that as far as our Wisconsin milk price, but remember, that's for the average of all of 2020. They say that cheese is going to continue to see good demand, but butter is a little bit softer as far as demand for 2020. Barrel cheese today, big drop, down 13 1/4 cents at 194 3/4. 40-pound block cheese down 2 1/4 at 194 3/4. Double A butter up a penny at 194. So Josh, although losing 13 1/4 cents in a day can give people a heart attack if they watch it, basically what it shows us is that the dairy product market, barrel and block cheese and even butter, now probably adjusted to more seasonal normals and more respectful of demand in the marketplace. So hopefully we don't see any big swings like that anymore this week.
Yeah, fingers crossed, Pam. All right, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Sounds good.
All right, meteorologist Chris Reese is here now with your alert day forecast. Kind of brisk out there today, Chris.
Yes, certainly very brisk out there. Wind chills, even at the noon hour, are well into the single digits, if not below zero. Our wind chill in Madison at 4 right now. Viroqua, the wind chill 7 degrees below zero at the moment. Actual air temperatures are well into the teens at this point, so that's some good news. 15 in Madison for us, 17 in Monroe. The Dells at 12. We're at 19 as you work your way down towards Janesville. 15, same for Boscobel and Prairie du Chien as well. We're seeing those winds come out of the west and northwest at 8 miles per hour, which is not an overly strong wind. But folks, when it's just this chilly out there, it's going to feel a lot colder. It doesn't matter how light that wind is. Plenty of sunshine, though, so that's certainly some good news. We are still seeing some flurries popping up in places like Janesville and Beloit and Milton, especially as you work your way closer towards the lake shore. But all of that comes to an end very soon. These flurries have really been confined to southeastern Kentucky for southeastern Wisconsin for a large part of the morning there. But we will dry out as we move it towards the afternoon. Watch the clear skies stay in place. That allows those temperatures to fall down into the single digits again as we move into tonight. Look for an overnight low around 4. Some areas, especially as you work your way towards the north where there's a snowpack in place, I wouldn't be surprised to see those overnight lows into the single digits, or I'm sorry, single digits below zero, that is. But here's the deal. We move into Wednesday afternoon. We stay cold again. Here we are tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Those temperatures are going to be right around 15 degrees or so. The clouds start to move in as we move into Thursday. But Thursday, this is 8:30 in the morning. We're going to be warmer. Check out the temperature around 27 degrees, and that is the actual air temperature, folks. We do begin to warm up. We'll even make it into the 30s by the time we get you into Thursday afternoon. But, folks, the wind chill tomorrow morning as you begin to head out the door will be a thing as things gradually get better for us by the time we get you towards Thursday at noon. That's where those wind chills are going to be even warmer into the mid and upper 20s. If you haven't picked out your Christmas tree yet, folks, by the way, we have days left to get those Christmas decorations. I'll tell you what, today's going to be a good day. Tomorrow's going to be a good day. Both will be cold. I do think Thursday we'll see a chance for some flurries with that system passing by towards the north. But even still, I think it'll be a good day. Minimal travel impacts. I think you'll be able to get out and do so. Speaking of travel impacts, we are watching the weather as we head into early next week, and we're also watching those chances for a white Christmas. I think the weekend is dry, but a lot of the modeling starting to show the potential of a more impactful system across the Great Lakes region somewhere as we get you into early next week. We still have a whole week to track this, but that is something that we have been watching. After that, we could perhaps see another light snowmaker. Still plenty of time, but historically, we do have a 60 to 75% chance of seeing a white Christmas around here. I think it's going to be a matter of just how cold our pattern gets, because if we get too cold, well, we send the storm track to the south. But then if we're too warm, we may not see anything either. So that's something to be very mindful of. In the meantime, Josh, those snow chances do arrive for the weekend, and then perhaps early next week. Right now we do have some sunshine, but I've been watching the models all day. I do think we'll see some changes as we get to those evening forecast updates with early next week.
I know you're dreaming of a white Christmas.
I'm always dreaming of a white Christmas. I've never seen one. It's just a dream.
I know. We'll keep wishing for one. All right, time to get your questions ready about your pet's health. Dr. Orvik is here to help coming up. Just call 270-9933. Keep watching News 3 Now at noon. And welcome back. Dr. Jim Orvik joins us from the Oregon Veterinary Clinic. He's answering your questions about your pet. Just call 270-9933. Doctor, thanks for joining us.
Well, good to be here.
We'll get right to the calls. We've got one on the line right now, and we've got Robert from Madison. Robert, what's your question?
Well, we have a cat that's probably 5, 6 years old, and it has been sneezing, and it also seems to be snoring, which it hasn't done in the past. And occasionally it's throwing up a little bit after it eats. Otherwise, it seems healthy and happy, and I'm wondering if it has a cold or if there's something more serious going on.
If it has been just a few days, like a week or so, it probably is a cold, very common in cats. If you keep it vaccinated up to date, be less likely to get that, but there are a lot of viruses that cats get that other animals don't get. As far as other possible things, if it goes outside, there are other things it can pick up, but does it go outside?
I think he's no longer on the line there. Yep.
Okay.
All right, we've got Susan from Albany. Susan, what's your question?
Yes, I was calling to ask if it's true or if it's a wives' tale to give Vaseline or butter to your cats to keep the fur balls down and to keep them from coughing.
Sure. Well, Vaseline, yes. Butter, no.
Okay.
Butter's digested and it's just food to the cat, but the Vaseline goes through and brings the hair with it on through the digestive system, so it does help with hairballs. If you buy hairball medicine, it's Vaseline.
All right, I think we got time for one more call. We've got Alice in Madison. Alice, what's your question? Alice, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's your question, Alice?
Why I do the cat cry at night, and we got a cat, but I don't cry at night.
Well, several reasons why a cat will cry at night. If the cat is not neutered, especially males, they'll howl all night, so will females. If they're neutered, some older cats will get overactive thyroid and they can't sleep at night and they'll walk around and howl too. But if this cat is young and neutered and it's done it all its life, then it's a behavior problem and it needs some attention by someone who can figure that out.
Dr. Orvik, as always, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Let's get a final check of the forecast. Chris?
Sunshine sticks around through the rest of this afternoon. Temperatures only top out around 16 degrees, folks. 4 overnight tonight. Wind chills as cold as 10 below zero tomorrow morning.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great afternoon.